Hey everybody, and welcome to what is the finale of the SMS Astray build. We've gone through the surfacers, we've gone through the reds, we've gone through the dark gunmetal, we've gone through the pearl white, the golds, the silvers, and now we're finally to the point of top coat. Now I have the Astray in sub-assemblies, so I have assembled certain parts together to make it easier to 2K the kit. He's such a small kit that top coating each individual part on something that small, I would end up actually wasting a lot of 2K with overspray and stuff like that. So in this instance, it is easier for me to have them in sub-assemblies, but we'll go over that in a little bit. First, let's take a look at the color set itself. Now, safety first. This is a urethane paint. It's a lot like lacquer, whereas, it's harmful for your lungs. So please, just like with the lacquer paints, I've said this in every video so far, so this one's no different. Please use your PPE. Spray in a booth if you've got one, if not, in an open ventilated area, but always please use a respirator and use nitrile gloves to protect your hands. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, now we can take a look at the box. So with the box here, SMS, color set, ultra clear coat 2K, professional clear coat system for scale models. And, he's got a little diamond there. I really like this box. It's very professional looking. The side here just has, color set on it. Same thing on this side and on the other one, but on this side, it's got their slogan, which is for the modeler, by the modeler. And I really like that slogan because, Scott Taylor is a modeler. He does Gunpla and other models, and he's really good. So this is exactly what it is. It's for the modeler by the modeler because he is a modeler. And as far as what comes in the box, you're kind of looking at it, except it does come with the clear coat user guide, and I'll read off a little bit of that in a second. It's kind of like how to use, but what you actually get in the box as far as material is you get two 30 milliliter part A, which is the thinner itself, or the clear itself, sorry. You get a part B 30 milliliters, which is the hardener, and you get a 30 milliliter of thinner. That's the reason why I said thinner, because I was looking at this. But I think it's really cool that they actually add their own thinner into this set. So in this one set comes with everything that you need to actually use this. You don't have to use another brand, thinner on this to make it work. They supply you with everything you need, which I really, really love. And I actually do like, the aesthetic. They got the diamond behind each one. They're still, staying minimalistic on the labels, and I love that in general because literally it's so straightforward. It's what it is. So this is, clear coat 2K part A, part B thinner. I mean, it is just tells you what it is, and I love that. Now we're going to go over a little bit of the how to use, and I'm just going to read off the how to use really quick off of this, and then I'll probably, explain it in my terms afterwards. So it says mix at a ratio of 2:1 plus 10% thinners. So what that means is 2 parts of the part A, which is the clear, to 1 part B, and then you would take the accumulated total of that and add 10% of that total in thinners. So an easy example would be 10 milliliters of part A plus 5 milliliters of part B, and then you would add in 1.5 milliliters of thinner to the mixture. So, that's how it works, is you add the hardener with it. But now, that being said, after you add the hardener into the clear, you have a time limit because, and per the instructions here, it says 30 to 40 minutes, it will be unusable. Now, that's just the nature of 2K. You only need to mix what you think you're going to spray. You can always mix more, but if you mix a whole big batch and you only use a little bit of it, that rest of it's going to be trashed because after a while that's going to completely harden and it will be useless. And if it hardens a little too much, it's going to be going through your airbrush really bad. So, I would actually stay within that time frame, 30 to 40 minutes per mixture. That's per mixture. So, if you mix up a batch and it only takes you 20 minutes to get through it and you have a little bit left, if you have something else to spray, you can spray that. But if it gets hardened, that's it. You just have to toss it. So please be aware of that. Mix only what you need and you'll be fine. One more quick thing I forgot to go over before we actually get to physically mixing these paints together is the PSI that I'm going to be using on this is around 30. I'm going to play between 20 and 30, but I'm probably going to end up around 30 PSI. The 2K that I've previously used is a little bit of a thinner 2K as well, and at 30 PSI it did really, really, really great. This too is a thin, with the thinners and everything, it's a little bit of a thinner 2K, so I'm probably going to end up resting around 30 PSI, but of course I'll be putting in the video and you'll see, written out what the PSI actually landed on, but I'm assuming it's going to be around 30. Now, one thing also I didn't go over is how to actually apply this. Now, what you want to do is when you get your PSI right and everything like that, you want to do a mist coat first, and then you want to do what's called a flash off. Now, a flash off is a time where you just let the part sit and you let it tack up. So you want to flash off for 5 minutes between each coats. So you do a tack coat, which is a light misty coat, just to get the decals used to the clear and make sure that none of them come up and stuff like that. And it adds a very good base layer for the next layers to attach to. Then the second layer is going to be your wet coat. That's whenever you go not full throttle, but you give it a good wet even coat. And then you would, if necessary, add another after that. But it is very important with 2K to give it that 5-minute flash off. With that being said, now we will go over and start mixing some paints. So with the 2K applied and the curing times gone by, which, speaking of curing times, in 24 hours after spraying this guy with the 2K, I assembled this guy with no problems at all. So for what it said on the guide, which was at least 24 hours curing time, that's pretty spot on. Of course, the longer you let it sit, the better it's going to be. But in 24 hours, I put this guy together and had no problems, and it was awesome. And as you can see, the finish is just phenomenal. Super glossy, super smooth. It's almost like glass on top of there, and when the light reflects off of the color underneath just right, it's magic. So, with the 2K itself, I'll talk about that for a second. As you saw, at 30 psi, I started with the tack coat, and then I dialed it back just a little bit to 28, and that's where it really, really felt good. It felt okay at 30 psi, but at 28, it felt really, really good. With each pass, of course, it got better. So I'm going to let the results speak for themselves. You can see that, this is some really good stuff, and it has a very fast curing time, which is amazing. So, go out and try it for yourself, guys. That's what this series was all about. It was trying to get the word out for SMS to, get people to try it. If you were thinking about trying SMS, I really hope that this series pushes you in the direction to, go get a bottle. Go get a bottle of the red or the 2K or whatever, and just try it out, because you'll love it. I loved it, and I really hope that you guys do too. So with that, that's going to be the end of this series. I'm not going to mess with the kit too much. I'm just going to let him spin there, but there will be a photo reel after this segment that I took some really nice photos, close-up photos, so you can see some really good details that I wouldn't be able to show on this camera anyway. So like I said, with that, that's going to be the end of this series. I thank every single one of you for being here for this series. And like I said, I'll put a link in the description below to where you can get these SMS paints and try them for yourselves. So a like and subscribe would be appreciated if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.